And welcome back to Scarborough, everybody. That's the Grand Hotel in the background. Word has it that it was going to be Hitler's headquarters should he take over England. Thankfully he didn't. Today we're going to be working on the backrests to the seat that I covered previously. So I've got it stripped off here. This is the old false leather cover that was on it. The felt tip lines that I've marked on this one line up the broad blue stripes with the seat cover that I made. So when I put the backrest on, the lines will be, the stripes will be in line. The other side that I didn't notice until I put it back on, and it stands out a little bit, so I may recover those if I've got enough fabric. So it's best if they're all in line. Anyway, this is just marking it out. Marking the corners with a ballpoint pen works pretty well. So once I've got them marked off, just a straight edge to do the long lines, because the actual fabric that I took off is stretched and didn't lay flat. But all these edges are straight, so good to use a nice straight edge. Straighten them all off. And it's just a matter of cutting it out. And I'll speed this up because you don't want to be watching me cutting all the way around this. Now we come to sewing it up. First part of these corners, just take the two corners in, both ends, and as you'll see in a little while I made a mistake. Anyway, here we go, sew them up. And I got the pinking shears instead of the scissors. I'll get them later. Nice neat corners, but two of the corners I should have turned and sewn down halfway to make a pocket, but I corrected it later, as you'll see. And that completes the second one, but wrong. So we'll correct them. It's quite an old machine is this that I'm using. It's only a domestic one. It was my mother's, but it's really good. It's quite a strong machine. Not that it's heavy fabric or anything. It's just a waterproof type, like deck chest type stuff, I suppose. A bit lighter than that. But it's designed for outdoor use, like outdoor furniture. The machine takes it really good. And this is where I just realised that should have been sewn down to there. So I've got to unpick that corner just a little bit to allow for the turn. Yeah, good head scratch. Okay, let's get it unpicked. Right, unpicking done. It's only about 10 mil, that's all. It's only the length of the seam to unpick, just so I can turn that corner. It's quite awkward to do this. But I'll start on the piece I sewed before, so it doesn't pull out. Just sew it down to there, within that 10 centimetre or so of the corner. Then I've got to turn the top one, keep the bottom one in position. It's quite tricky, but it turns out alright. Need to make a little scissor cut in it, really, just in the corner. Just helps it turn that a little bit, which I did on the others. I cut this one after I'd sewn it. Just make sure everything's together in the right place, and then sew it down. You'll see what I mean by making a pocket. Got the proper scissors this time. Makes life a bit easier. So I said before, just got to nick the corner just to stop it pulling round. That's it. and do this one. I'll turn the right way out, and then you can see now I've got a pocket to halfway down the cushion. And see when I put it together how that slides over and gives it its shape. So there's one. And there we are. Hospital corners, as my daughter calls them. That's them done. So now we come to the fun bit, covering them. It's not too difficult really. This is the old cushion. It's still got the same covering on it, and the foam, bit of stuffing in the corners. It's perfectly fine. I wasn't going to bother stripping all that off and re-sticking it all. So it's just a matter of putting it over and using the staple gun now. See, all the big cushions, the piece you sit on, they're all backed in heavy cloth, and then they've got a zip on the back of them, so you can take them off for washing. But these are just stapled on, and I'm just putting it all back together as it was. See, they've got the hard back piece of, it's about 5mm ply, I guess. The holes in the back for the buttons to sit in. These extra bits of stuffing on the corners just literally fill out the corners that bit better. All a good fit so far. Just make sure all the corners are well pushed in. If you're doing any of this and you find that the foam is squashed down, if you use steam iron or a steam gun or even a hot air gun, it'll lift it all out again. These didn't need doing, they were alright. Just pull everything tight. And just watch, you'll see how it all comes together. See that piece of the wood that hangs down below that I'm stapling it to, that actually fits into a slot on the boat, and then it pushes back, and it's they're held in place with Velcro, that's all. But that little piece of wood sticking down just takes the weight, stops them slipping. On the last ones that I did, I actually sewed a hem on here first, which made it a bit easier. I forgot to do it on these, so I'm having to fold it over. It's not too difficult really, but it's easy, just easy with a hem. Just pull it nice and tight, pull it down the back. And then just 1,000,001 staples. I'm out of bullets. Then we just got to fold these little bits in at the end. Not too difficult. Shame it's out of camera shot, but I didn't realise. It's just a matter of tucking it all in. Now you can see there, just tuck the corner in. Anyway, that's it. When it's all tucked in, more staples. None of which show. It's not that I know this stuff, I'm just copying what I took off. Just cut them to the same pattern, looked at what I did when I took all the staples out and unpicked it, and just putting it back the same way. And that's it. Last thing to do, just put the buttons on. 3 of them on this one. So, putting the buttons on. I just happen to have one covered button. They're quite easy to cover. Well, they're not with this material. They take quite a bit of squashing in. But anyway, there's the one that's covered. And it's got some, it's actually braided fishing line I've got, which is really strong and tight. So you've got 2 lengths, and then thread it through a bodkin. It's a big needle for those that you don't know. quite a blunt needle, but with a big eye. That's what my mother used to use for darning socks. You just feel where the feel on the foam underneath where the last button was, and then just push it through. Find it on the back. Remember those holes that were in the wood? So you just make sure it comes through the middle of one of those, and pull it through. Pull the bodkin off, and you're left with two ends. And then I've got here, it's just one of the old buttons that I took off. Nobody sees it, it's on the back. Thread one of the lines through. Tie it off as tight as you can. And I'll kneel on it just to compress the foam. It goes right down, then just tie it off. So I'm only showing you one of these buttons. I haven't got, like I say, I haven't got the others covered. You don't need to see that, you'll see them on the back on the boat. So that is pretty much it. So I've now done 4 of these. That's all 4 done. I've got one small cushion left to cover. It's the one where your feet go through the hole just to extend the bunk. There's a name for it, but I forgot what it is. Anyway, that's that one done. So we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.